Om.
ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः प्रज्ञानां शुप्रतानैः स्थिरचरनिकर व्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् सविष्ठान् पुनरपि धिषणोद् भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नः माया सङ्ख्यातुरीयं परममृतमजम् ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि यो विश्वात्मा विधिज विषयान् प्राश्य भोगान् स्थविष्ठान् पश्चाचान्यान् स्वमतिविभवान् ज्योतिषा स्वेन सूक्ष्मान् सर्वानेतान् पुनरपि शनैः स्वात्मनि स्थापयित्वा हित्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् विगतगुणगणः पात्वसौ न स्तुरीयः
Mandukya Karika, Chapter 4, Alata Shanti Prakarana, Karika 98. In the earlier Karika, it was pointed out that the Dvaitin, because of their aviveka, even if they admit a little of something other than Atma, Anatma, says, in their case, that Atma cannot be asanga, free, it cannot be free from connection to the other things. As a result, bondage is inevitable, it is going to be real, and therefore, bandhanasha, which was described as avaranachyuti, is next to impossible for this avivekis dvaitins. This statement indirectly implies that in the case of Vedanti, who says Advaya Brahma alone is there, bondage is real and its bandhanasha, avaranachyuti, is possible. Such doubt can arise. This is not true in Advaita Siddhanta. In Vedanta, bondage is something which is kalpanika, imaginary, and therefore its end is possible. But truly speaking, Atma, which is nothing but homogeneous, all-pervasive knowledge principle, which doesn't admit even a wee bit of anything other than it, and there being nothing other than that knowledge principle, no connection whatsoever with anything else is possible. Bondage is not possible. There is no question of ending of bondage in reality. This needs to be highlighted, and therefore the next Karika starts. Before that, we'll see how Bhashyakara presents this Karika. Bhashya. Tesham avarnachutihi nasti iti bravatam swasiddhante abhyupagatam tarhi dharmanam avarnatvam na iti uchyate. The prastavana, introduction of this Karika 19. The Anvaya has to be taken this way. Tesham avarnachutihi na asti iti bravatam. You can add there Vedantinam swasiddhante tarhi dharmanam avaranam abhyupagatam na iti uchyate. Tesham avarnachutihi nasti. Tesham, in the case of those people. Who are those people? As referred to in the earlier Karika, Avivekinam, in short, Dvaitinam. In the case of those people who profess duality, Avarnachutihi na asti. Bandhanasha, ending of bondage, is not possible, because whatever even that little Dvaita they conceive is going to bind the Atma forever. And that bondage cannot be ended. Iti Bravatam Vedantinam. In the case of those Vedantis who say that in the case of Dvaitin, bondage cannot be ended, it says, what about in the case of them, Bravatam Vedantinam, Swasiddhanti. As far as their doctrine is concerned, Advaita doctrine, non-dual doctrine is concerned, that is, Advaita Siddhanta is concerned, Tarhi, in that case, Dharmanam Avaranam. Dharmanam Atmanam means Jivanam. In the case of Jivas, Avaranam, Bandha is what? Abhyupagatam, accepted. In their case, bondage is not going to end. In your case, bondage is going to end. Means you have accepted the bondage. This doubt is possible. Answer is given in this Karika 98. No iti uktam. Sir, it is not so. How come? Listen. Please read Karika 98.
अलब्धावरणा सर्वे धर्मा प्रकृतिनिर्मलाः आदौ बुद्धास्तथा मुक्ता बुध्यन्त इति नायकाः.
सर्वे धर्माः अलब्धावरणाः प्रकृतिनिर्मलाः आदौ बुद्धाः तथा मुक्ताः एड यतः नायकाः एड यतः नायकाः फर्दर एड अतः बुध्यन्ते इति एड उच्यते बुध्यन्ते इति उच्यते. सर्वे धर्माः सर्वे आत्मनः सर्वे जीवाः all jivas alabdhavaranaha by their very nature, alabdha avarana, alabdha means aprapta. Aprapta avarana means they have no bondage. Bandhana rahita. Labdhavarna means apraptavarna means bandhana rahita. By their nature, all jivas are free from bondage. How do you say so? This is the truth. What is it? Prakriti nirmalaha. By Prakriti, by their very nature, nirmalaha means what? Swabhava shuddhaha, jnana swarupaha. By their very nature, they are nothing but knowledge principle without anything else whatsoever. So that means there is nothing called avarana bondage, and by some effort you have to end that avarana. Such a case doesn't arise at all. They are nothing but knowledge principle and knowledge principle alone without anything else being there. By their very nature, prakritivaha eva, nirmalaha. Mala here is our duality. So free from duality. This being so, their nature is such that Adav Buddha. Adav Buddha means Swabhavata ye Jnana Swarupa. By their very nature, they are nothing but knowledge principle, means Mukta. There's nothing else there. Only knowledge and knowledge principle alone is there. By their very nature. Adav in the beginning means by their very nature, they are Jnana Swarupa. Buddha means Jnana Swarupa. Knowledge principle and knowledge principle alone to the exclusion of anything else whatsoever. And therefore what they mukta, they are free from bondage. And because yataha nayaka, because they are nayaka means here samartha, capable of knowing themselves means there is no room for bondage. So nayaka means swaminaha, masters. Why master? No bondage. In their own, they are always in the sway mahimni. They remain in their own glory of what? That Paramananda Sarupa, Jnapti Sarupa, Swayam Jyoti, self-evident. Jnapti, that is what? Knowledge principle. And therefore what? Buddhyante iti uchyate. Secondarily, it is said as what? They know. They know means what? They are always in their Swarupa. There is no room for bondage. There is no question of ending that bondage. And therefore what? They are said to be what? Because some kalpanika, some imagined bondage appears to be there. From that standpoint, it said what? They are what? Buddhyanti. They gain the knowledge of their Swarupa. It is a Gauna Prayoga. It is a secondary statement. Truly, there is no bondage for them. Bhashyakara will give examples for this. So that is like sun shines. Now sun shines. The nature of sun itself is luminosity, light principle. How do you say that sun is taking to the what action of shining? If earlier sun was a non-luminous globe, now it started shining. Now you get sun shining. Its swarupa is nothing but light, 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 light. and yet in the Vyavahara we say sunshine. Other example given is mountains stand. Mountains are standing. See, rows of mountains are standing. Mountains don't walk to stand. They're always stationary. And yet in Vyavahara we say mountains stand. So also here in the case of Atma, Jiva, by Sarupa Nitya Mukta, and yet we say they gain the knowledge. Bhasya Karika gives these two illustrations, you'll see that. Alabdha Varnaha Bhasya. That is the first phrase is taken for explanation. What is alabdham? Alabdham aprapta apraptam avaranam. Alabdham apraptam avaranam avidyadi bandhanam yesham te dharmaha alabdhavaranaha bandharahitaha ityarthaha. Alabdhavarana means bandharahita ityarthaha. Free from bondage. How do you say so? Let us take the meaning of word by word. Alabdham, not gained, means what? Apraptam, not gained. What apraptam, not gained? Avaranam, veiling. What is the nature of that veiling? Avidyadi bandhanam, the bondage on account of ignorance of oneself. Avidya, adi for, that is avidya, karma, phala, etc. Avidya, kama, karma, what they are called as hridaya granthi, knots of the heart. In short, whatever that is erroneously superimposed on them, adhyastha on them. So avidyadi bandhanam yesham te dharma. Te dharma, those jivas which have what? Who have no bondage on account of avidya and its effect. No bondage on account of self-ignorance and its effect. They are called what? Alabdhavaranaha. In short, gives the meaning as bandhana rahitaha ityartha. Alabdhavaranaha jivaha means dharmaha means the bandhana rahita jivaha, who can never have bondage. Why so? How come? The reason is that Swarupa is like this. What is the Swarupa? Prakriti nirmalaha, swabhava shuddhaha, adau buddhaha, tatha muktaha, yasmat nitya shuddha buddha mukta swabhava. They are of such nature. Prakriti nirmalaha. Prakriti, the swabhava, their nature, means swabhava shuddhaha. They are not purified by some effort like samskara, etc. No. By their very nature, they are what? Shuddhaha. Not that they are made pure. Means impurity was there. That impurity removed, now they have become pure. No. By very nature, they are pure because no impurity is ever possible in them. So that is, in other words, Adau Buddhaha. Beginning itself means from the very, their nature itself is what? Adau buddhaha means swabhavataha eva jnana swarupaha jnana swabhavaha. By their very nature, they are nothing but one homogeneous, all-pervasive, self-evident knowledge principle. There is no room whatsoever for anything other than itself which can cast bondage. Tatha, so also because their nature being so, muktaha. See, there is nothing called mukti, liberation, they have to accomplish. They're always free from any bondage, means they are always liberated, ever liberated, having never anything called bondage. And that liberated, I have to say, because you are talking about bondage. That's why we have to say liberate. Otherwise, that word also doesn't apply, because when there is no bondage, there is a question of absence of bondage. But this word is floating, experientially available, and therefore we have to say what? They are muktaha, ever liberated. How so? Because they are ever liberated means yasmat, because they are what? Nitya, they are, because they are bandhana rahita, tasmat nitya shuddha mukta swabhava. Because they have no bondage whatsoever at any time. See, they are nitya buddha mukta, nitya shuddha buddha mukta swabhava. Always jnana swarupa, limitless knowledge principle, no trace of bondage in them. So therefore always liberated, we have to say. Now if this is the case, how do you say buddhyante? They gain the knowledge. They gain the knowledge implies what? Earlier they had ignorance. Now they have got knowledge. And you are talking about Nitya Buddha, Nitya Mukta. How is it? The question is raised and answer is being given. This is an introduction to Nayakaha. Yadi evam katham tarhi ad dharma buddhyante iti uchyate. Yadi evam, if it is so. What is if it is so? If, as you said now, jivas are nitya, buddha, nitya mukta. They are always knowledge principle, therefore always free from any bondage. If that is the case, katham tarhi, how come they become the recipient of knowledge? That is, how do you say they get knowledge? So katham tarhi dharmaha jivaha buddhyante, gain the knowledge, iti uchyate. They are nothing but knowledge principle. They gain the knowledge. How come, how this statement can be applicable? How this statement can be valid? You are telling, you only telling buddhyante. See, for that answer is given by Karika Nayaka. Nayakaha Swaminaha Samarthaha Bodhum Bodha Shaktimat Svabhavaha Ityartha. Those dharmaha, those jivas are what? Nayaka. Nayaka literally means Swaminaha, master of themselves. What do you mean by master of themselves? The meaning is given. Samartha Bodhum. That is, They are capable of gaining their knowledge on their own, means their knowledge principle itself. The jivas are samarthaha bodhu, always capable of gaining the knowledge. In the sense, the meaning is given, bodha shakti mat swabhava. They have got that disposition to gain the knowledge in the sense, in that antakarana vritti, conforming to their swarupa, their true nature gets reflected as it is. It is ever possible. So therefore, they have that capacity to gain the knowledge, even though for outwardly purpose, in the vyavahara, in the empirical transaction, they appear to be samsari. But this is not the truth. Truth is what? They are always the ever liberated, never bound knowledge principle. Some error has taken place. As a result of that, it appears that jivas are baddha. That error needs to be set right, and you are not creating some liberation by ending some bondage which is never there. Only as secondary, you say that they gain knowledge, for which Bhashyakara gives two examples. Yatha nitya prakasha swarupaha api savita prakashate iti uchyate. One example. Yatha va, or another example. Nitya nivritta gatayaha api nityam eva shailaha tishtanti iti uchyate. Tadvat. Tadvat means, we'll see what is a tadvat like that. Afterwards we'll see. Yatha, just as the Savita. Savita is Surya, sun. What is nature? Nitya prakasha swarupa api. Even though the sun is ever self-luminous glow, that orb, ever shining globe, even then, prakashate duchyate. We say the sun shines. Sun was never not shining. Sun means self-luminous light principle. And yet you say shines, as if he was not shining. But such usages are there in the Vyavahara. One thing. Yathava, or other example is Nitya Nivritta Gataya. Nivritta Gataya means Gatishunyaha. Always Gatishunyaha means who are they? Api. Shailaha. Shailaha, mountains. Mountains are always Nivritta Gataya means Gatishunya means stationary. Mountains which are always stationary, never moving, and yet api also are what? Nityameva, always we say what? Shailaha tishtanti uchyate. The mountains ever stand. Always they stand. They have no movement. Well, a question of absence of movement. Standing means what? The person is able to move, walk, is not walking. But mountains never walk. And yet you say that. It seems, it goes in ancient times, mountains had wings. And think of it. They fly and perch somewhere. What will happen? Therefore, means it is a disaster. Therefore, it is said, Indra chopped off their wings and they become stationary. It is said so, whatever it may be. We know mountains are stationary. As far as we are concerned, we have never come across any mountains walking. Is it not moving? No. So therefore, and yet in the transactional world, we do say mountains are standing even though they cannot walk. Likewise, jivas always being knowledge principle, there is no occasion of their being bound, or there is no occasion of their getting knowledge, and yet we say jivas got liberated, they got the knowledge. It's only a secondary usage, it cannot be taken as the truth. Tadvat, in the same manner, we have to say, take like this. Dharma bodha sarupaha api. Jivas, by their very nature, being of the nature of knowledge principle, which can never be bound. Buddhyante iti. Yet they gain knowledge iti. Aupacharika bodhritvam siddhati. Aupacharika. For vyavahara, one can attribute the status of being knower to the jiva. But in reality, they are nothing but the very knowledge principle which can never get bound, and there is no question of gaining the ending bondage and getting liberation. Doubt can be said, sir, why are you going round and round the way? I think you are a journalist. Journalists have the habit of asking, going round and round and round to extract the truth. I just happened to see our Prime Minister has got that. He always converses with the students and they ask the question. So one girl studying in the 12th standard asked the Prime Minister, sir, parents expect the children to be this and that, especially engineer and these doctors, etc., etc. Even if the child, means the son and or the daughter, is not interested. So she asked in many words. Patiently, Prime Minister heard it, and while answering first said, do you want to become a journalist? Because the way you are asking that question round and round, and that girl felt shy of it. Actually, she wanted to be. And he answered, it is not correct to impose it. He said, the father is so busy, he doesn't know where, in which standard the son is studying. And somewhere the guests have come and you don't know, hey, come here, which standard you are studying? He has no time to attend to all this. But they superimpose this, etc. It's not correct. So give them a freedom. And then he said, tell your parents that allow you to become a journalist. So, my dear sir, why are you going round and round and round and round and asking this, etc.? That is what Shailaha Tishtanti. And what Nitya Prakasha Rupa api Savita Prakashate. Ever luminous sun shines secondary. The mountains stand secondary. Why not you take the mountain stand like a horse stands? Horse can run, at the same time it can stand. Why don't you take straight away direct meaning? Like sun shines, why not direct? Why secondary? The mountain stand, why not this thing? See, this is the what? Doubt now. Gaudapada points out, sir, that bondage is not possible. What can I do for that? If bondage were possible, I agree with you. We cannot use the word in the secondary sense as gains the knowledge or gets liberated. It has to be in the primary sense. But when that knowledge itself is not, or that bondage itself is not possible, how can I admit that? Why not possible? Bondage is possible if there is a real possibility of existence of something other than the knowledge principle Atma being there. One limits the other. See, the moment two are there, one limits the other. When there is no occasion for the second, where is the question of that one? Even that one you can't say. That one word is reserved to second. That second is not there. But yet Vyavahara have to say that how do you say that one gets bound? Not possible. So therefore, the so-called bondage also you have taken for granted because some error, ignorance. From that standpoint, you have to say that error ends, that bondage ends. In reality, there is no occasion for any bondage being there because there is no occasion of being there something other than Chaitanya Atma. So for this, the answer is being given. Please read Karika 99.
क्रमतेन हि बुद्धस्य ज्ञानं धर्मेषु तायिनः सर्वे धर्मास्तथा ज्ञानं नैतद्बुद्धेन भाषितम्
तायिनः बुद्धस्य ज्ञानं धर्मेषु नहि क्रमते तथा सर्वे धर्माः एड विषयांतरेषु न क्रमन्ते विषयांतरेषु न क्रमन्ते एतत् ज्ञानं बुद्धेन न भाषितम् एतत् ज्ञानं बुद्धेन न भाषितम् तायिनः बुद्धस्य ज्ञानम्. What is Taina? See, Taya means Vistara. Tainaha, of those who are all pervasive in nature. Jnanam, the Swarupa Bhuta Jnana, means, in short, Buddhasa is there. Buddhasa means Jnaninaha. Jnana. The Swarupa Bhuta Jnana, the true nature of the Jnani, which is knowledge principle and itself is what? All pervasive, Taina. The knowledge principle, which is the true nature of the jnani who was hitherto appeared as jiva, and it is tainaha, means nirantarasya, tainaha means nirantarasya akasha kalpasya. It can mean like this. The jnanis who are always nirantara, continuous, all pervasive, like akasha, space. Or it can mean Taina Buddhasya means Pujavataha, the highly adorable one. Or Pradnyavataha, Jnaninaha, those who have got Atmadhyana, Brahmadhyana, of those Jnanis. Their Jnanam, Swarupa Bhuta Jnana, the very true nature knowledge principle. It says, Nahi Kramate, doesn't get connected to anything because it is asanga, and there is no occasion of existing anything other than itself. When something else is not there, something else to which it gets connected is not there, there is no occasion of its nature being covered, avarana, veiled by something else which doesn't exist at all. And therefore, bondage is not possible. What are you talking of? Ending of bondage. So that is nahi kramate. The swarupa, which is knowledge principle, doesn't get connected to anything, therefore doesn't get covered by anything, therefore doesn't cast any bondage. There is no occasion of getting freed from bondage or ending the bondage. So therefore, this is the swarupa of the jnani, which is so in the case of jiva, because the jiva itself appears to be jnani. So tatha, so also, sarve dharma, all atmana jiva, means what? In the case of all jiva, maybe for practical purpose, vyavahara appear to be samsari, and yet by their very nature, they're what? Their swarupa, vishayantareshu na kramanti, doesn't, because being the knowledge principle and knowledge principle alone cannot get connected to anything else. No bondage is possible, because no bondage, no ending of bondage is possible. So this is the truth. So, sir, we can't accept that knowledge is gained as the primary sense, like it is secondary sense, like sun shines or mountains stand, where shining or the standing is from Gauna standpoint, secondary meaning and not mukhya, not primary meaning. So is the case here in the case of Atma. Now he says, Gaudapadhyaya makes a big statement, because during his time, Gaudapadacharya was branded as Prachanna Baudhaha. This person is a Buddhistic philosopher in disguise of Vedanta. These are all academic, this thing they try to find out, get PhD. Because of this is a Prachanna Baudha. A Baudha, a follower of Buddha in disguise of Vedanta. He says, look, the Baudha school in Kshanika Vijnanavada comes very close to Advaita Vedanta. And to that extent, what they say is useful to know the non-dual Swarupa. But they don't accept the Atma to be, by very nature, is what? Free from bondage, because no bondage is possible, and therefore no ending of bondage is possible. Nitya Mukta Shuddha, Nitya Shuddha Mukta Swabhava, they don't accept. So, what I told now is not what they profess. Though few things told by them comes very close to Vedanta in the sense it is helpful for a Vedanti to understand better. See, this is the openness of Vedanta. Whoever the other person may be Sankhya or Zen, to the extent they are true, we have got the open mind to accept it. But we will not compromise as far as the ultimate truth is concerned. Our great other person may be, wrong is wrong. So from that standpoint, he says, Etad, what I said to you now, by the very Swarupa, they are Nitya Buddha, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta. There's no question of bondage. There's no question of ending bondage. But because of some error, it appears to be so. But by Swarupa, it is there so. This truth is not revealed by Bauddha Darshana. This truth is not revealed by the doctrines of Buddhas. Actually, we don't know what exactly was taught by Buddha, Gautama Buddha. Because there are 4 schools of thoughts. Guru is one and say, but 4 schools of thoughts are there. Out of which Kshanika Vijnana comes little close because it doesn't accept the actual external world of objects. Everything is nothing but knowledge principle, but make a blunder, Kshanika, limited. Anyway, so this is not what he had taught. Means it is not Bauddha Darshana. Let us see the Bhasya. Yasman nahi kramate buddhasya paramartha darshinaha jnanam vishayantareshu dharmeshu dharma samstam savitari iva prabha. Yasmat, because the reason, what is that? Buddhasya paramartha darshinaha jnanam. The Swarupa, the knowledge principle. The knowledge principle, which is the true nature of the who? Parama Buddhasya. With that Buddhasya, Paramartha Darshinaha. Jnani, who has got the knowledge of ultimate reality, knowledge principle. His Jnanam, that Swarupa Jnanam, Vishayantareshu na kramate. Vishayantareshu dharmeshu. There is in any entity, Vishaya, objects other than itself. No kramati, doesn't get connected. And therefore, why? Because that knowledge principle is such that dharma samstham. Dharma samstham means swamahimni pratishritam. It abides on its own, in its own glory, the self-evident knowledge principle, not dependent on anything else whatsoever. And there is nothing else whatsoever. So, dharma samstham. for which Bhashyakara gives an illustration. Savitari Prabha Iva. Just as Prabha, the light in the sun, in the sun, just as the light of the sun. Savitari in sun means of sun, Savituhu. Just the light of the sun is what? Self-luminous. It doesn't depend on anything at all. To see it, you need not someone, you don't need other light. See, is that? So like that, so is the very Swarupa, true nature of the Jnani, which is nothing but all pervasive knowledge principle, which doesn't allow the existence of anything else whatsoever in it. The reason given was Tainaha Buddha Jnanam. What is the Tainaha? Tainaha Tayaha Asya Astiti Taya Tayi Santanavataha Nirantarasya Akasha Kalpasya Ityartha. What is Tainaha? First, Tayin. Nominated singular is Tayi is explained. Tayaha asya asti iti tayin tayi. Tayin substantive, tayi nominative singular. That which has got taya. What is taya? Taya means vistara, expanse in terms of all pervasiveness, sarvavyapitva. That entity which has got this vistara, expansiveness, all pervasiveness, that is called as Tayi. Its meaning for us given as Santanavataha Nirantarasya. That which is continuous, Nirantara. Santanavataha means which is Nirantara only, which is continuous. Which is continuous and that is being all pervasive, Nirantasya, for which an illustration is given, Akasha Kalpasya, Akasha Tulyasya, which is like space, which is homogeneous, Santanavata, continuous, homogeneous, and which is Nirantara, always, all pervasive, without any discontinuance at any place. That's why I would say homogeneous. Nirantara Akasha Kalpasya, Akasha Tulyasya. Or the meaning of Tayi, Tainaha, can be taken other way. What is it? Pujavataha va, Pradnyavataha va. Tayin also can mean Pujavam, one who, what is that? Deserves worship. Or one who is adorable, one who is worshipful, or Pradnyavataha, one who has got Pradnya, who has got that Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana, means of such Jnanis who by their Swarupa are all pervasive, or by their nature itself are worshipful, or very knowledge principle. All these, that is what is their Swarupa Na kramati, doesn't get connected to anything else, because anything else is not there. No bondage possible. Therefore, occasion of ending of bondage doesn't come. Bandhanasha doesn't arise at all. Same is the case with all jivas. Sarve dharma atmanaha api tatha jnanavadeva akashakalpatvat na kramante kvachidapi arthantare ityartha. So, sarve dharma. Dharma means atmanaha, not Sachidananda Atma, jivas. All jivas. Tatha, likewise. What is likewise? Jnanavadeva, like the jnana swarupa of a jnani, which doesn't get connected to anything else. And whatever knowledge it is, knowledge principle, akasha kalpatva, akasha tulyatva, being like space, na kramante kvachidapi, doesn't get connected anywhere, anything with anything whatsoever. What is that kvachidapi? Anywhere? Arthantare ityartha. In something other than themselves. Why not? Because they are not possible. Why not possible? Akasha kalpas. One is homogeneous, continuous, without any discontinuity anywhere. There is no room for anything else whatsoever. There's no question of getting connected. Connected means getting limited. It's not possible. Therefore, bondage is not possible. Ityartha. Now, this truth, which Gaudapada said, which I have revealed, I have established so far and revealed and concluded so far. Say, this teaching is not that of Bauddha Darshana. So, Yad, he is now concluding this fourth chapter. Bhashyakara points out how this has got a connection with what Gaudapada Acharya told in the very beginning of this chapter. Yadadau upanyastam jnanena akashakalpena ityadi tadidam upasamhrutam. Tadidam, you add, you have to, adhyara has to be made. Upasamhrutam akashakalpasya tainaha buddhasya तदनन्यत्वाद आकाशकल्पम ज्ञानम न क्रमते क्वचिदपि अर्थांतरे. So, yad, whatever that was, adau, in the beginning, where in the beginning of this Adata Shanti Prakarana, Karika 1, Jnanena Akasha Kalpena is the phrase from that Karika 1 of this chapter, Ityadi. So that is being concluded here. We'll see next time in detail.
ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणा सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ
Just for your information, the Sunday morning Gita Bhasya class is now at 7:25 a.m. By mistake, today morning I started at 7:30 a.m. Just it slipped off from mind. The Sunday morning Gita Bhasya class will be at 7:25 a.m. 1 hour.